Hello Army BTS lover. The day began as usual, with silence that enveloped the military headquarters where the BTS members were doing their duties. However, something incredible happened, such a deep, touching, and emotionally draining moment, involving two figures deeply loved by millions of fans around the world, Park Jimin and Jungkook. In an atmosphere full of silence and inner tension, Jungkook did something that didn't just make Jimin cry, but it also shook the hearts of the army who watched the moment from various corners of the world. It wasn't easy for anyone who knew Jimin to see him cry. He is strong on the outside, gentle on the inside, attentive to those around him. He rarely shows weakness. However, in Jungkook's presence, his tears fell unstoppable. Not out of pain or anger, but out of sincerity, depth of meaning, and relationships that cannot be explained by ordinary words. Only a true army can understand how special this moment is, because only Jungkook was able to make Jimin shed tears in such a special way. It all started with a sudden meeting in a break room that they rarely shared these days. The rush of military service has kept them physically apart, but their hearts remain connected. Jungkook, with eyes full of meaning, sat silently holding what looked like a small black box. No words were spoken when Jimin entered the room, but the mood instantly changed. There was an inexplicable aura. It was as if time stopped and let the two long-lost hearts speak in silence. Jungkook called Jimin's name in an almost whispered voice, but enough to shake Jimin's whole soul. He approached, not knowing what awaited him. Jungkook opened the box slowly, and inside there was something that made Jimin's eyes widen, an old photo of the two of them, from the days when the world didn't know who BTS was, when both were teenagers trying to understand life and dreams. Behind the photo, written in Jungkook's handwriting, "You have always been my home. Thanks for holding on." Jimin couldn't say anything. Her lips trembled, her eyes began to glaze over, and finally those tears fell, tears full of memories, love, and the invisible bond they have built for more than a decade. Jungkook didn't say much. He just hugged Jimin tightly, in and unconditionally. A hug that seems to say that no matter what happens, they'll always have each other. Army, who later saw a short video of this incident, somehow leaked or perhaps deliberately shared by their closest staff, immediately felt an incredible surge of emotion. Twitter was filled with the hashtag Jimin crying because of Jungkook, and within hours, trending in over 35 countries. Many wrote how they cried when they saw Jimin crying, because they know in the relationship Jungkook, or anyone close in the group, Jimin and Jungkook have an unusual relationship. They're like mirrors of each other. When one of them smiles, the other brightens. When one is injured, the other feels it first. It's not the first time Jungkook has shown a very sensitive side to Jimin. From the debut until today, various videos and moments show how Jungkook often pays attention to Jimin even in small things. But this time it's different. It's not about mere attention, but about a very deep emotional presence. There's something inside Jungkook that lets him know when Jimin needs someone, even when Jimin himself has not admitted it. And when that moment came, Jungkook was present not as an idol, not as a group mate, but as the person who knows Jimin's heart the most. Jimin, in a previous interview, he once said that he felt Jungkook was growing into someone he was very proud of. "She's like a sister, but sometimes feels like a protector. Say it with open eyes." Now, those words are like living in a real scene, because who else could touch Jimin's emotions that deeply if not Jungkook? After the incident, many ARMY began to dig into their old moments. Video compilation about Jimin and Jungkook's togetherness goes viral again, flooded TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. All those moments felt more meaningful with the context of the events that had just happened. Their laughter, jokes, deep glances all seemed to confirm that their relationship was more than just an ordinary friendship. Some international fan bases even wrote touching open letters. It shows how much hope there is for so many people out there. Not just about love, but about the presence of someone in life who really cares about us in our most vulnerable moment. Jimin represents many of us who often hide tears behind a smile. But when someone like Jungkook is there for us, the world has become easier to live in. Write an ARMY from Brazil. Not a few are beginning to wonder what is really going on behind the scenes. Is Jimin experiencing severe emotional distress? Has Jungkook felt that way for a long time and was just waiting for the right time to show his support? Although there is no official confirmation, close sources mention that the last weeks have indeed been quite difficult for Jimin. Feelings of longing, public pressure, and a sense of loss of direction while temporarily separated from the stage are real. In such a situation, it was no wonder that Jungkook's support came as a saving ray. What makes this incident even more emotional is the fact that everything happened without exaggeration. Just photos, handwriting, hugs, and tears. But it is precisely in simplicity that lies the power that makes millions feel the depth of their relationship. Because love, friendship, and mutual belonging do not always have to be described in complicated words. Sometimes it is enough to be present and let the heart speak. After that day, the two went back to their routine. However, something has changed. Jimin seemed lighter, calmer, and warmer than before. Jungkook, on the other hand, seemed more protective, smiling more often when he saw Jimin. They may not disclose everything to the public, but for the army who loved them from day one, all of that was more than enough. Because for us, their happiness is our happiness. This story is not just about Jimin's tears or Jungkook's actions. It's about the power of human relationships built on trust, understanding, and sincerity. It's a reminder that even in a world filled with fame and pressure, there is room for emotional honesty and genuine connection. And in this case, only Jungkook could make Jimin cry in such a beautiful way. Armies around the world are now bringing this story as part of their long-standing history of love and friendship. They take it to heart, remembering that behind all the glitter of the stage and the glare of the cameras, BTS is still human, with real feelings, wounds, and love. And in the end, when Jimin cried in Jungkook's arms, the world is crying too. Because that's a moment that will live on forever in ARMY's heart. When the news began to spread, BTS members who were in different military locations also gave their personal reactions. Although they did not directly comment on it on public social media, some fanbase accounts close to the internal team mentioned that Taeyong and J-Hope showed an emotional response when viewing the video of Jimin's crying. Taeyong, who is known to be very close to Jimin since his trainee days, he was silent for a long time when the video was played in front of him. Someone from the military environment even said that Taeyong hugged his phone for a long time, as if unable to speak. Taeyong has known Jimin longer than anyone. He knew how hard Jimin worked to smile even though he was exhausted. So when he sees his best friend finally showing his fragile side, even in Jungkook's arms, Taeyong can only take a deep breath and whisper softly, "You can finally let it go, Jimin." It was not a sad sentence, but a relieved sentence. Because behind those tears, there's a healing process going on. Tears are not just a sign of pain, but a sign that Jimin no longer harbored everything himself. Meanwhile, J-Hope, who has always been known as the pillar of happiness of the group, unable to hide his expression. He said he contacted staff and asked for a full recording of the moment because he felt very moved. "I want to keep that. It was not just a moment, it is part of our history. It was the most human thing I've ever seen from both of them," he said, as reported by one of the internal sources. J-Hope knows that Jimin and Jungkook have been through a lot together, and see how the relationship remains strong, even in the silence of the military, makes it feel like BTS will never truly separate. The army was not silent either. Across multiple platforms, there appeared works inspired by the moment. Fan art depicting their embrace is widespread, with various artistic styles from around the world.